Welcome back to the Roundtable. I'm AwestruckVox.
I'm RetroNemo.
My name is Tom.
And we're here for our review of Steven Universe Season 5, Episode 6, Raising the Barn. So, it finally happened. This was a plot point we were waiting for a while, and the San Diego Comic-Con trailer kind of confirmed it was happening.
Yeah.
And that's Lapis fleeing away from Earth. She's Audi 5000. So, let's start over from the beginning. You know, Steven's still dealing with, like, the fall of Connie. She's still not answering his calls. She's still not answering his texts. Again, I relate. And...
sort of like how after Jailbreak, Steven wouldn't answer her phone.
Oh!
Full circle.
yeah, there's a lot of parallels, I feel like, between those two events in the Fallout.
Yeah.
But,
Dude,
so yeah.
It was actually the same, like, conflict, too, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, Steven's like, no, I don't want you involved in this. And Connie's like, Steven, stop.
But she's so young. I don't understand.
She's not that much younger than Steven.
But she's not magic.
I mean, she is, though.
Steven, is she though?
Her eyes are.
I guess.
And
I guess
she can sword fight.
Yellow Diamond's like, well, I bet you can't see this one coming. And then Connie's like, I can. And then Yellow Diamond just dies.
She just shoots lasers off her eyes and fires to Diamond.
Steven, you gave me laser powers. I did.
Shit!
All right.
Come on, Lion, let's go.
But Steven gets a FaceTime, and it's from Peridot. And her and Lapis are like, yeah, we heard you were on Homeworld. And again, this is another instance where, like, why didn't we find this out sooner? It was another thing where, like, why didn't we find out? Peridot and Lapis knew Steven went to Homeworld. When did they find out? Was it while he was on Homeworld? Was it when he got back?
I think it was implied that it was after he got back, because the Peridot Twitter, like, after Wanted aired, was like, oh my god, where's Steven?
No, that was before Wanted aired. It's like, I just remember Steven exists.
Oh, I don't know.
Wait, she has a Twitter?
Yeah, but it's, like, basically inactive.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically they talk on the phone with Lapis and Peridot, and they're like, literally tell us everything over the phone. We won't meet you in person. Like, tell us over this tiny screen. Which
I
didn't
can fly
understand.
over there if I wanted to, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
We could warp there in seconds, but... So, Steven's like, yeah, you know, I went to Homeworld, I was in a room, and then I went on trial, and Yellow and Blue Diamond were there, and then I ran away from them. Lapis is like, pause, homie.
Yeah.
Wait. Blue? I like how she actually emphasized that Blue Diamond was there first.
Yeah.
And he's like, and Yellow, and she was like, you ran from Blue and Yellow Diamond? And then she starts to out like, we gotta leave, we're jetting out of here. And...
well, yeah, but that makes me... are they coming to Earth then? Is that what's implied?
That's what
Lapis is afraid of, but...
Yeah. It's been a couple of days.
No, like she's like jumped the gun but they don't know that Rose Quartz is on Earth. They think Rose Quartz is on Homeworld.
Oh, they still think she's on Homeworld.
Yeah, they have no way of knowing.
That's so true. Because it's such a weird way he got back.
And Steven mentions that later on in the episode. But
yeah.
But I think the fact that she mentioned Blue Diamond first is like really telling. So that makes me think Blue Diamond was the more like aggressive one during the war, or the one who like called the shots.
Diamond, That's her diamond, though.
Yeah.
Exactly, like she would know better than anyone.
I don't know, I guess. I feel like it's just the fact that that's her diamond. That she was bothered by it.
And
is she still loyal to her diamond? Or?
no.
Okay, yeah.
So Steven heads over to the barn. You know, Lapis is there, Peridot's there, Pumpkin's there, and Lapis is like, okay, yeah, we can go now. And Peridot and Steven are like, you know, slow down, cowgirl. But they don't want to tell Lapis, like, hey, this is kind of jumping the gun. So instead, Peridot spends the entire episode kind of finding ways of, like, to stay at the barn and on Earth.
Peridot expresses that, like, she understands why Lapis wants to leave, and she's supportive of that. But at the same time, she's, like, fighting internally with the fact that she's compromising her own wants and needs for Lapis.
Yeah, I feel like that's very important because, like, you know, just in any relationship, I'm not saying a romantic relationship, I'm not saying, oh, Lapidot confirmed, but, like,
are you
know, like...
uprooting and destroying my shit?
Cut it! You know, it's really easy, like, in friendships, too, or even relationships, to, like, not speak your mind in fear of upsetting, like, the other person. So that's definitely what Peridot dealt with here. And Lapis is like, you know what, like, if you're worried about all the stuff in the barn leaving behind, we can just take the barn. And she lifts it up, and I'm like,
yeah.
What?
I don't know.
I mean, that really makes me wonder, like...
Does water really do that?
I mean, I've seen Kelly do that.
Was that pool in the barn, like, put there all this time just for that scene?
Yeah, I think so, honestly.
Like, did it plan it out like that well?
I think it was implied that the cider mill was carrying water instead of cider.
What do you mean?
What?
That little mill that was attached to the barn.
Mm-hmm.
It was carrying water. Like, it was filled with water. That's what was implied.
What?
Yeah, because it had little...
The silo?
Right.
I'm talking about the pool at the barn.
But the pool for the barn had tubes that were leading to the silo.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice touch. I didn't mean to go on for this long about it.
If they were going to use it for a plot device, they would just use the silo then.
Yeah. I just feel like Steven,
So I see where Shane is coming from.
Yeah.
It shows how immensely powerful Lapis is.
Yeah.
And, that's something we've been kind of lacking for a while. Like, her raw strength. Like, how strong is she? Like, just casually. Because this was very casual.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of upsetting that, like, I feel like Steven and Peridot didn't really have, like, a longer talk with Lapis.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in a second. A Pumpkin's missing, so Peridot goes out to find Pumpkin. Steven, helps her. And at first I thought Peridot was, like, purposely hiding Pumpkin to just, like, avoid leaving. But I guess, like, she was legitimately lost. And Steven and Peridot talk. It's like, Peridot, it doesn't really seem like you want to do this. And she's like, I don't, Steven. I don't want to go.
Exactly the phrasing. That was the exact scene. And then they don't go.
Yep, and Star's out. But no, it's like, you should tell her, Peridot.
And also Peridot throughout the entire time was like justifying everything on Lapis's end. Like she was like, well, she's been through a lot. She's, like this is important. All of that.
And Steven and Peridot go up to Lapis. They're like, hey, friend. She's like, oh, you guys ready to go? I see you found Pumpkin. And Peridot's like, I don't want to go. And Lapis is like, oh, what? Like, why are you just telling me this now?
But that's what I don't get, because it's been like 15 minutes, really. I mean, like, she's literally like, we're going to go. And then, like, maybe they look for Pumpkin for a little, then they go. But she can't say, why are you telling me this now? Like, when did she have
It was
time
like an
to
entire
say?
day.
Still.
Because the episode begins in daytime.
Even then, like, she was ready to leave, like, right at the start of it. Like, there wasn't really any time.
Exactly. No, and that's why I wish there was a scene where Steven and Peridot, like, sat down with Lapis. It was like, can we actually talk about this? Like, what's your plan? And I get, like, okay, Lapis is supposed to be hasty. The point is, like, she's hasty. She's in a rush. She wants to get out of there. But the fact that, like, they didn't really, like, attempt to, like, have a deeper conversation with her kind of irks me a bit.
Yeah.
It's not to the point where it's like, oh, this is an awful episode. No, actually, this was, like, one of my favorite episodes of, like, all the bombs.
Yeah.
But I'll gush about the art and the animation later in a second. But,
Oh, yeah, it was really good.
But I just feel like it was kind of out of character for Steven, because he's the guy who, his character is, I talk people out of things. But he didn't really bother. He's like, well, if you guys want to leave, I won't stop you. But you just said that, like, the diamonds have no reason to come to Earth because they think you're on homeworld. So, like, why are you just giving up that easily? Like,
I mean, it's not really that. Like, if there's any chance that the diamonds are going to come to Earth, I feel like it's justified that Lapis would want to leave.
But the fact that, like, Steven was just like, if I'm not going to stop you, it was like, what?
I think that Steven understands that, though. Like, he understands what Lapis has gone through and why she would want to avoid that.
But I still feel like he could have talked to her, like, actually talk to her.
That's not really something you talk about, though. Like, if someone's, like, that direct, as in, like, I've been through this before, I don't want to go through this again, I'm going to remove myself from the situation to avoid that. That's not something you're like, well, wait a minute, I think you're being irrational, because that's a rational thing to want. If you're just like, okay, I've done this before, I don't want to do it again, so I'm going to go.
I'm just saying for Steve, because Steven's kind of the kind of guy who's gone against rational thinking before.
I mean, but he's also seemed to develop a lot in this arc specifically.
I would say at the very end.
Nah, even just in the beginning, like starting to understand people.
And what are your thoughts, Shane?
Well, I feel like everyone's justified in the situation, which is why it's so tough. But the fact that
No, I'm not saying Labs is wrong. I'm saying
no,
I just wish there was like
that's what I'm
more
saying.
of a conversation.
It's just an interesting situation. And like she just leaves, and then spoiler, she's not back for the rest of the bomb. So it's like.
Yeah, but Peridot's like, I want to stay. And Peridot tries to talk to Lapis. She's like, Earth is our home. Like, isn't it worth fighting for? And Lapis is just like, I'm not getting caught up in another war, and leaves.
Which is, I don't know, it's whatever. She can be alone and sad. Peridot's living in a bathroom. Okay, she's doing good right now.
But yeah, Lapis took the barn with her.
Which was like, what the fuck? Like, what, you gonna take the barn too? Like, split
And
in
like,
half.
no, it's really weird to me the fact that she took the barn, because she only took the barn in the first place for Peridot. Because Peridot kept like, my belongings, but then Lapis just takes the barn anyway. It was like, you were just gonna go without it.
Yeah, no.
So that part I didn't really understand well.
No.
It seemed like just like a reason that Peridot bagged in the temple, and that makes sense, but they should have had Lapis like, like, okay, I want the barn too, but she never actually said,
It's like,
hey.
It cuts to a shot, like, after a credits, like, when Lapis is in, like, the middle of space, and she's just like, fuck, why did I take this with me?
Yeah.
I didn't even want it.
Watch them like flying through space in an episode. They see the barn just floating there.
I just realized I'm wearing green on a green screen.
It's not that green
Yeah.
on the camera.
I don't know. It looks like it's blending in, though.
Kevin looks green with envy.
I mean, if you want to take it off for the next review, you can.
We're already stuck here.
That's true.
Oh my god.
Tom is like half in this review, half like phased out into the background.
It's too late now.
No. Either way, it was a good episode. It was a good follow-up, and it was a good Lapis and Peridot episode. I feel like it really developed their characters, really pushed them forward.
No, yeah, I felt like this was great for especially both Peridot and I mean, I just wanted Lapis to be relevant because, all she was just like, oh, I'm going to watch TV today. Oh, I'm going to read to, which, is justified with her character. Like, that's the point of her character. She doesn't want to be involved or anything. She's, like, in retirement. Mm-hmm. So finally seeing her, like actually wanting to do something, even if it was leaving, I really enjoyed that. I ate that up. Escapism was in this episode, and everyone thought it would be.
Yeah.
I'm actually really surprised by that. But I'm still hoping it's a Lapis song, so I think wherever she goes to, I speculated before that she ends up on, like, some kind of gem colony that Stevani crash lands on. Maybe she'll sing it there. Maybe she gets, like, she becomes a prisoner somewhere. Mm-hmm. Only time will tell.
Yeah.
But, I'm really interested in where this will go next because, this was like the episode that pushed the plot forward the most, I feel like, just because it set up like a future plot point, like where is Lapis going or when will we see Lapis again? Mm-hmm. And it does bring up the question of like, are the diamonds going to attack? And if they are, like, are they going to right now? I mean, the diamonds have already kind of like more or less, or Homeworld in general expressed like, like the Earth really isn't anything. Mm-hmm. Like they just want the cluster.
Yeah.
So, that also begs the question. Because again, I don't think the diamonds are going to come to Earth until they find out the cluster's not going to emerge.
Yeah.
Because I don't see them risking coming to Earth and then getting caught if the cluster emerges. Because, they think it's going to emerge.
Yeah.
Which, again, I wish Steven kind of, like, just talked down with us, just like, hey, like, here's, like, I feel like he didn't elaborate to it.
No,
and again,
he never
like,
does elaborate.
Exactly, and, like...
You'd be an awful lawyer.
And, like, that's a bit... I'm assuming that's intentional on the writer's part, but
yeah.
It's just so nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
It's like, you could at least de-escalate the situation or, like, try to explain things better, but he just chooses not to.
Yeah.
But something I really want to gush about is that this is the first episode storyboarded by Amber Cragg, who was
Hillary.
Yeah, who was originally a revisionist on the show, and she got promoted, and now she's storyboarding with Hillary. That's her new partner. Hillary originally storyboarded with I believe Lamar. Lauren. It was Lauren, I think.
No, I think it was Lamar.
Was it?
Yeah, because Lauren did one that was with someone else, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting all since all the pairs are changing, I'm getting them like way mixed up. But Amber's art in this episode was so great. Like, I really like how she draws Peridot and Lapis.
I really liked like the details on Lapis. Like her hands were like so intricate.
Yeah. And like they moved greatly. This was an episode animated by SMIP, so like not only was the art great, but like the animation was great. Everything all around, like the presentation of this episode was good. And I liked like the palettes and the backgrounds.
Yeah.
It was a really pretty episode.
Yeah.
Like even when Lapis leaves, it was just like the palettes and like the background of the sky. That's like they've been using like the shot like when Lapis flies away. They've been using that background for like all the promotional stuff, and I can see why now because it's just gorgeous to look at.
Yeah.
So oh my god, I think Amber is my new favorite storyboarder just because she just did it really well, and her dialogue is really good. And we see her storyboarding again in Kevin Party, and whoa, I could go on all day about like how just like not just this episode, but like all the episodes, like the art in general has just been like on point.
Yeah, it's been really great.
But closing thoughts, everybody.
Good episode.
Yeah.
Honestly though, it was I loved the interactions between the characters, and I loved that it was a Lapis Peridot episode, and I hope that something happens so that there's more Lapis and Peridot episodes.
Yeah.
Like, I hope she's not gone forever.
And I feel like they actually had characters this time.
That's a good point.
They've been really flanderized, I feel like, in the barn. Like as soon as they got to the barn, they were just flanderized. It was like, I'm Lapis, I'm emo, that's my character. But it was just like, no, like there's so much more layers to Lapis. And I'm not saying they disregarded all that. Like, remember we kind of dove into it. But the fact that like she's just acting like a stereotypical like 2007 Hot Topic kid before getting to the problems, that's what I have an issue with, because that's not Lapis. And Peridot just being like a meme, you know, people call it like the meme Dorito.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, that's not Peridot. Like she's someone who's still understanding Earth culture and loves Earth culture, but she's not like like, so I'm glad that like they're finally getting some development, acting like how they used to be, because God, it was like especially on rewatches, it was just like, what happened?
Yeah.
But as always, these are just our thoughts, and we'd love to hear yours. So please, drop them in the comments below, or you can tweet them directly to us at AwestruckVox, it's RetroNemo, and TommyPQM. We also have a Discord, official Amino app, and Patreon. Links to everything in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Share it with your friends, get their thoughts on the episode, and if you want to support us, consider snagging a blue diamond or yellow diamond tee or hoodie from our Teespring store. Hit that bell for notifications so you never miss a Steven Universe video from the Roundtable. I hope you have a beautiful day, and AwestruckVox,
RetroNemo.
And Tom.
signing out.